Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the SaVeg podcast.
Hello,
I don't know
guys.
what I just did there.
It's like a weird wave with both
I was
hands,
stretching
Rose.
and waving at the same time.
It looks like you were doing Tai Chi or something, you know, like kind of
It does
slow
look like Tai
motion.
What is up with Tai Chi? Is it is it an exercise? Is it meditation? Is it both?
Bit of both. I feel like it's all about feeling. I've never done Tai Chi, but from my understanding, it's like feeling the energies, feeling the vibe, and really channeling it in slow movements. You know?
Interesting. I always see old Asian ladies doing it in the park.
Yeah.
I mean, I say I always do, but I don't actually. But I've seen people do it in the park.
Shall we?
And I'm always like, what are they
take it
doing?
up, Rose? Shall we do it in the park?
Well, I mean, I would have to look at the benefits of it first, but in ancient Asian history, maybe it has some benefits. Who knows?
Exactly. There
I'm
must be.
open-minded.
A lot of people do it.
I'm open-minded.
So guys,
Anyway.
if you see us doing Tai Chi in the park, don't judge.
Come say hi and do it with us.
Exactly.
Just keep
We'll
your
start a little
distance.
Tai Chi
Stay the
group.
fuck away from us.
Beautiful, Rose.
Oh
Beautiful.
God, Daniel. I still can't believe we're in this fucking pandemic. I just saw a friend in the elevator.
Yeah.
He lives in this building, and he was like, "I think we're gonna go back into lockdown." I was like,
my God,
why do you say this to me? That is depressing as fuck. Although there's probably some truth in that.
Yeah.
But oh my God, and then did you hear that AstraZeneca is they pulled it off?
Yeah. They're basically in Canada. They're like, you can't have it if you're under 55.
Why? So why is it that under 55? Do you know the reason? Because I didn't really look at it.
I heard the reasoning, and I could be wrong here, guys. Don't quote me. Never quote us on this podcast.
Never.
We're always just like,
This
don't
podcast
quote
is
us.
just, huge disclaimer. We don't know anything. Continue.
But from what I've heard is it was because it's been resulting in blood clots.
For people under age of 55?
No. Just for people in general.
Okay.
And I think the reason why they said for people over the age of 55 is actually the risks of not taking it versus taking it outweigh the fact that they could get blood clot, right? Whereas under 55, they're like, actually,
there's no point.
There's no point because your risk of getting a blood clot is actually worse than
higher. Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
I can't remember something like that. I could be wrong, guys, but that's what I the gist of it. And that's why younger people, they're saying, do not take AstraZeneca because, again, your risk
You're more likely to get a blood clot than get COVID.
Exactly.
Or die of COVID. Okay,
exactly.
interesting.
Or have implications. And blood clots can be really, really serious.
You can die.
Oh, 100%. It's bad. It's bad. So blood clots cause all kinds of problems,
What's
guys.
the scientific name for blood clots? Or is it dependent on where it is?
God damn, Rose, why are you asking me all these complicated questions today? Okay. You think I'm some kind of biologist? Okay, god damn.
Okay, well, this leads us to vaccine topic. We're going to talk about vaccines, aren't we, today, Daniel?
Oh, god damn, yeah, we is.
Well, we is going to talk about a lot of shit today, starting with a documentary that both of us saw, and all of you guys need to watch.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, we're talking about the vaccines already.
Okay, fine. But I just want to, first of all, guys, we'll talk about this a little bit more later, but watch Seaspiracy. Continue. Yeah. Let's talk about vaccines. Put a pin on it.
Oh, goddamn. Put a pin on it, guys. That is going to happen. We're going to talk about Seaspiracy in just a moment. But, okay, so basically what's happened, and this is in the States, but I feel like, I could see this happening, other countries having this kind of backlash. But there's been talk. God. I know. There's been talk about this idea of getting a, vaccine passport, right? So some kind of proof or a document and a bunch of governors and stuff. So apparently the Florida governor vowed to ban vaccine passports in the state, in the state of Florida.
Oh, gotta love Florida.
Oh, goddamn. But it wasn't just him.
So the point of the passport is to just show people, hi, I've been vaccinated.
Exactly.
Right? So why are you going to ban it? Who cares?
But this is the thing that's so ridiculous. And they're saying, so basically there's a whole argument because there was another Republican Congress lady called Chris Bish who also said on Twitter that
Chris Bish.
Chris, I can't even say her name. Chris Bish. What a
Chris
name.
Bish.
I fucking
Is it a
love
woman?
it. Yeah, it is. Chris Bish.
Okay.
Chris Bish, what's up?
Okay, Chris. What does Chris Bish have to say?
Chris Bish was like, basically she tweeted along with this other, like this, first you had the Florida guy and you have some other people.
Sure.
Anyway, so she tweeted that I guess the issue in the States, what they're trying to like, I guess, ride out or whatever, they're saying that like there's this whole act called HIPAA, which is Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Now, what this means is it's a federal statute which prohibits doctors, hospitals, health insurers, and other medical institutions from sharing personal medical information with third parties. So what she's saying in her little tweet that she wrote is HIPAA and vaccine passports don't really seem to be able to coexist. Am I the only one who still remembers HIPAA? I'm going to call it HIPAA or whatever. I don't know. HIPAA.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But then, like, so they're arguing.
But then isn't it voluntary? Like,
this is it.
Yeah, there's a difference between somebody leaking your health information. Like, I get that part.
100%.
That's confidential.
Yeah.
And you voluntarily carrying your health information with you as a means to prove that you've had a vaccine. That's the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard.
Oh my God, it's so stupid. Like, it's just like everyone is like getting so stupid about this.
Dumb. I hate society.
I know. And they're just like, you're right. Like, this is a voluntary thing. Like, it's very different if, like, for example, my health records from my doctor went to like an insurance provider or something without my consent. That's different. That's like illegally sharing my information. But like, we're talking about like, if I'm making the conscious choice to go to another country or go to do something,
right?
What is wrong with me having to just show that I have a certain vaccine? They already do this for some countries. Like,
yeah, they do.
Exactly. Like some countries you have to get like a vaccine against yellow fever or whatever, just random.
Just to visit. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is.
I don't get it. So what if I was a Florida person and I wanted to go travel somewhere and that place required that I have a COVID vaccine certificate?
Yeah.
Do they like, so in that case, are they not going to allow that to happen? Is that their kind of thing?
Well, I guess
I'm confused.
I don't know how the Florida governor is planning to take this. He says we'll take executive action to prohibit these so-called vaccine passports in his state. How that's going to work? Does that mean people coming into Florida won't have to show their vaccine passport? But people
100%, Daniel. Have you seen Florida?
That's true. That's very true.
They don't give a shit.
Oh my God, I know. Like during spring break and stuff, guys. Oh my God,
honestly,
that was bad.
I can't.
But like, yeah, I don't get what the big deal is. People are making.
I think it's just this whole thing. Every little step has been met with such a big like fight against it. It's like, okay, like every single tiny little lockdown, like a mask. People freaked out about a mask, and they're still freaking out about a mask. So of course they're gonna freak out about a vaccine thing.
Of course.
I'm not surprised.
And the mask thing too. They're like, the masks like they're violating my freedoms and stuff.
Oh my God!
Like,
please kill me.
It's a piece of clothing.
Please go live in a forest in the middle of nowhere if you don't want to live as a part of society.
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm like, I've had a stressful day. Okay, so we're gonna take it out on this podcast today.
Oh God damn, it's gonna be a very
it's gonna be a savage. It's gonna be savage hour.
Yeah, but I mean, again, this just guys, like, please just stop. Can you just stop immediately and just?
Well, no one listening to this is, they all agree with us, right, guys?
Yeah.
Maybe they don't actually.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't see what the big deal is.
I know.
Here, really. I mean, maybe I'm missing
people
it.
People are just bored. People are bored. They want to complain about something. They just want to complain. If you don't want to take the vaccine, like, okay, sure. Like, again, there's so much discussion around this. I guess it's okay if you don't want to take the vaccine. There are like anti-vax people.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to get into that, but but like if people want to have a passport that says, they had a vaccine, then like what's wrong with that?
Exactly.
What,
and also like not to be like diminishing, like let's say you do decide like you don't want to get a vaccine for whatever reason. I think that another country that's having people come in is well within their right to say, sorry, like, you can still be here, but you're going to have to quarantine for 2 weeks or whatever it may be, because you, again, at your expense, because you're choosing to come here unvaccinated, we're not going to prohibit you from being here. We're just going to say, actually, until we know that you don't have the virus and you can't spread it to other people, like you're not going to be allowed to, you'll have to wait a certain period of time.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
makes sense.
I just for protecting its citizens and its people, right? Like I get that.
Yeah.
Like, so
again, yellow fever. If you want to go to some places, you have to, like, I had to, when I went to the Serengeti, I had to get a yellow fever vaccine.
Exactly.
And
like
I had to carry that with me. That is a normal protocol.
I know.
Ah! It's okay. The people that are saying this, they've probably never left America anyways. So
I know. Yeah. They're the ones kicking off.
It's the same
being
people that think that US is the only, country in the world.
Oh God. It's just like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy to me. It just blows my mind. And you know what, guys, just stop, please. Like just,
yeah,
you know what? Don't get your vaccine. Stay in the US. Don't do anything.
Okay,
and
what's this thing about vaccines? Like, why are people so against? I still don't fully understand the anti-vax thing. Like, why are people so against vaccines? Because
I think a big part of it
it's due to medical advances and vaccines that we're still even here to begin with. So it's like, okay, so what is it?
Well,
give me a rundown.
I think part of the reason why people are not hesitant, but like there's a couple of reasons which I think, I mean, I could be totally off basis here, but number one, there's a small fringe group that thinks that this is some kind of government conspiracy where they don't want to get the vaccine because of these like chips or whatever else. There's another
No, I'm talking about the overall like anti-vax people.
Like the main overall,
not just with COVID.
Okay, anti-vax people. I guess
it might be the same people.
There could be some people that like want their bodies to naturally fight off illnesses, and they kind of are against like antibiotics, vaccines, all of that kind of stuff. Because I mean, I don't know. I think that could be part of it as well. They kind of want their body to be like naturally fighting some of this stuff off, I guess. I honestly don't know. Like I don't consider myself an anti-vaxxer, but like, again, like I've never had the flu shot, for example. I don't get the flu shot.
But you've had other vaccines. Like we're not talking about the flu shot. We're talking about like these, like there's certain vaccines that you're like kind of expected to get, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're in school and stuff. Anyway, I mean, I don't know. I've heard that people think that it causes like not Asperger's. What's the autism?
Autism.
No. Is that what the people say? Or like ADHD? I don't know. People, I mean, but I don't think that's actually scientific. I think people just like make this up. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyways.
But I think there's several reasons. And I think specifically around COVID, I think why people are getting so up in arms against it is because I guess they feel like they should have a choice as to whether or not they take the vaccine.
Don't they have a choice, or is it mandatory?
I don't know. I think, I guess it is a choice. Like you can choose to get it or not, right? Like I don't think it's like everybody has those people that are anti-vax. Like, is it mandatory? Like, do we have to get it? I don't know, because in Canada, for example, you have to register, right? So like if you're over the age of 70, for example, I know like my grandparents, they had to register to get their COVID shot. So I guess if you just don't register,
I think some people, they can choose not to get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. God damn.
So then they should also choose to opt out of the public healthcare system. Potentially.
I know. Because
just
the thing
saying.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When you live in a society and you're going to take the benefits of a society, you also have a duty to do whatever it is necessary to also protect other people in that society and not just leech off of the society. I just said society a million times. But
you definitely did, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I mean...
But we know
what I mean?
We know from time and time again, and we've seen this over and over again, not just with vaccines, but this idea of like society and when the good is good, people will take advantage and try to like do as little as they can. But then when the times get tough, that's when they are going to go for handouts. And I think it goes the same way with the COVID vaccine.
True.
So like if you have an anti-vaxxer that decides not to get the COVID vaccine, right? In that mindset, they're saying they don't want this, that blah, 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 blah. But then if they get COVID and they have to go to ICU and get intubated, they're actually putting a strain on the healthcare system. And they made the decision to do that because they didn't take the vaccine, right? So I think there's something to be said about that as well. It's like you're choosing not to do it, but then you're reaping the benefit of, other people that, potentially should be there that, you know what I mean? I don't know. It gets really like,
Oh, God. Anyway, so that's that. That's the vaccine situation. The saga continues.
Oh, and the saga continues very slowly here in Canada. Let me tell you. Like,
oh my God, kill me! It's so bad.
Are they still in like the 70 plus here in Alberta or something?
I don't understand the incompetency. And plus, apparently, our numbers are skyrocketing again.
Oh,
Great,
God.
fantastic.
No, but you know what? I did look, and let me like look right now because I'm just like.
Do you have good news for me, Daniel?
I might. I'm not gonna tell you to. I'm not gonna because I remember
seeing. Give me some
seeing
good news.
the cases are going up, but I seem to remember that the hospitalizations. Let me see.
Are?
Fuck. Never mind. They're going up as well.
Is it going up? Well, of course, if the cases are going up, the hospitalizations will go up inevitably, right?
Well, not necessarily because depending on who's going to the hospital, right? Like, so
sure.
Statistics tell us, or at least from what I've seen, but again, apparently this is all not true anymore either. But before they were saying like majority of the people that were in the ICU, like the average statistic was like, I have a breakdown here. At least in Alberta, I don't know how this goes.
Right, it was mostly older people. Yeah,
exactly. It was like the graph of like basically about 60 and up. 60 to 70 was like a little bit of people. 70 to 80 was like a ton of people in hospital. Right. So in that theory, or in my mindset, I was thinking, okay, if we're doing a good job vaccinating those people, the cases could still go up. Like you or me could get it, but we don't necessarily go to the hospital. So we could see a trend of cases skyrocketing, but actual hospitalizations going down because the people that generally you need to go to the hospital, it's going to be less and less. And there's a much smaller percentage of people in our age category going to the hospital.
Sure.
So, but I guess you're right.
But is everyone vaccinated in the senior group?
I don't know. Honestly.
Exactly.
I don't even know what's going on.
And I feel like if the cases are skyrocketing so much, then of course, even if, yes, the percentage of people that are going to hospitals still might be around the same, or even going down. But if the cases are skyrocketing, then of course the number is going to be a little bit up.
You're right. Like for example, in our age group, let's just pretend like the hospitalization rate was like 2%, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine, but if we have a huge skyrocket of like 1 million cases, 2% of 1 million is a shitload of people.
Exactly. So who knows?
Yeah.
Anyways,
oh God. Guys,
again, we are the bearer of bad news.
Oh God.
I thought we were going to do like one happy segment each day, but unfortunately, guys, there's no fucking happy news. No, I'm just kidding.
No, there is some, but you're right. Like this is just, this is sad. I'm looking at the cases now.
Oh God. Is it bad, Daniel?
No, I mean,
are you looking at Canada or Alberta?
I'm just looking at Alberta specific. It's just so
what
sad.
It be looking like? It be going up again.
Mm-hmm. It be going up.
Do we need to move somewhere?
Oh God, Rose.
Do we want to stay here?
I don't know anymore, honestly. And I'm nervous because, like, guys, I'm moving out this weekend. Well, I guess.
Oh my God! Do not give me that sentence. Do not.
It won't be this weekend. Well, it will be this weekend. But like, for those of you listening,
out, guys. Woo-hoo!
Yeah. For those of you listening, this is going to be like for the public episode, not Patreons. Obviously, you guys.
Oh yeah, because we already talked about it in Patreon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I will have already been in my new place.
Yeah.
But the thing that I'm nervous about is if things close, Rose. Like, what am I going to do?
Calm down. Okay.
I'm going to be depressed as hell.
Oh my God, Daniel, you're so annoying. Have we? We've been over this. Mm-hmm. Daniel has said this to me about 50 million times, and I always have the same answer, and he doesn't listen to me. Listen, Daniel. Listen.
Rose? Okay.
We are still allowed to go outside, right? It's going to be summer. We're allowed to go outside. We've never had. Do you really think this government is going to do a full-on lockdown where we can't go outside? Of course not. We're going to be able to go outside, and that means you can go for walks. And we've never had a situation where you can't see, like if you're living alone, you can't see anybody. You're still allowed to see at least 2 households, I believe, or 2 people or something like that. So you can still see your parents, and you can still meet people outside. Mm-hmm. So it's fine.
Okay.
You need to chill. Okay.
Just chill.
There have been people that have been living alone for an entire year.
That's true. You make a good point there, Rose.
So you need to chill, and you're not allowed to bring this up again. Okay. You hear?
I hear. God damn. God damn.
Mother Rose has spoken.
Mother Rose has spoken.
Tiger Mom Rose has spoken.
my tiger mama, you know? God damn. It's funny. It's funny because we have a group chat. So me, Rose, and our friend in London, and we were like in this group chat, right? And I was like talking about how I'm like finally moving out and whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm really excited. I'm like going to my own place or whatever. And then our friend in London commented, she's like, it's so funny. Like Daniel's technically the oldest in this group chat, but it kind of feels like we're his two moms that have reared him.
It's so true, though.
It made me laugh.
Daniel,
a lot.
I told you were a 16-year-old child.
Yeah, that's very true. You know, goddamn. So, speaking of other,
I have to walk you to. Oh no, never mind. Anyways,
wait, what were you gonna say there, Rose? Are you going to share that on the podcast? Thank you. There's some things that we need to keep private in our private lives.
God.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. People
know,
already think that I am bullying Daniel. So
yeah. That I'm going through some kind of abuse here. Anyway, it's something that we can talk about on our chats. Because those of you that are listening to the podcast, guys, the shocking thing is, you know, me and Rose talk a lot on this podcast, but then we also meet up and go for walks. Like, and we will talk for literally 2 hours on a walk, and then
do the podcast,
and then be texting. Like, it's like we can never run out of things to say. I don't even know how this is possible.
Honestly, I have no idea. How do we, like, there are only a certain number of words in the English language. How are we able to talk so much?
We've used all of them, Rose. So another interesting story, actually, before we get to because I do want to talk about Seaspiracy, but
are we going to do some like petty internet drama? Is that what we're doing?
Well, there's a couple. There's two more stories that we want to talk about. Okay, so do you know who? I guess there's this rapper called Lil Nas X.
Yes, I've heard the story.
Yeah, have you?
Yeah, so I heard that he created some kind of shoe or something, or a hat or something.
It was a shoe. Yeah. Okay. So
and
basically,
it was something to do with Satan.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, gosh,
tell the story.
Damn.
Yes.
Okay. So
hey,
basically,
I pay attention to the internet. Okay.
Oh, God damn. So basically, those of you that don't know that are listening to the podcast, Lil Nas is I guess a rapper, and he's really famous for this song that's gonna go down to the old town road. I'm gonna ride something like this. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna sing ever again, guys. That was a one-time thing.
I'm pretty sure you've said this before, and you've sang multiple times on this podcast.
I'm
putting that out
such a bad singer. I need to stop. Rose, you need to stop me.
Daniel, I have very good memory, and I remember everything. So yes, continue.
Yeah. Okay, so basically what had happened, Lil Nas, he just released a new music video. I think it was on the 25th of March. It's called Montero, Call Me By Your Name. So this is before the shoe. He released this and also released the shoe around the same time. Now, actually, I watched the music video, and the reason he's getting backlash on this music video is because it is quite scandalous because... Well, I wouldn't even say it's that scandalous, but like there's a scene where he's like wearing these really tight pants with like kind of stripper heels going down a pole from the heaven to like hell. And as he's going down the pole, he's like dirty dancing and doing all this stuff, gets down to where Satan is. And then he and then goes to Satan, gives him a lap dance, is getting all sexual on Satan, right? All of this stuff. And
sounds like an awesome music video.
I actually quite liked it. I'm not going to lie, guys. Yeah, so he's gay.
Okay,
he recently came out.
That's why he did it, right?
Exactly. So this is why I really like this story as well, though, because there's more to it. Okay, the shoe thing's a bit weird, but like again.
Okay, so basically he did that music video.
Yes.
And he's obviously like saying fuck you to the people that were like, you know, you're gay, you're gonna go to hell, all that shit, right? That's basically kind of the message.
Exactly. That's exactly it, right? So he does that, but then he also releases this shoe called, what is this shoe actually called? It's like a Satan sneakers, and they're like black with like red, and then it has like 666 on them and like some other things,
right?
And apparently there's like a drop of blood in each shoe or something weird,
like human
like this.
Blood or something.
Yes, like very strange.
Weird. Yeah,
and they sold out. They were limited edition Satan shoes, and each pair contains a drop of blood.
Okay, so tell us about the controversy, Daniel.
So basically,
because other people might, you know, for somebody like, because I'm not religious, so to me that sounds all fine and dandy. But of course,
exactly. No, this is where there was a ton of tweets. So I guess Governor Kristi Noem, who I don't know who this is, but she's like, our kids are being told that this kind of product is not only okay, it's exclusive. But do you know what's more exclusive? Their God-given eternal soul.
Oh my God.
We are in a fight for the soul of our nation. We need to fight hard. We need to fight smart. We have to win. So that was her comment to the Satan shoes. And Nas has responded, and he was like, you're a whole governor, and you on here tweeting about some damn shoes. Do your job.
Seriously, like, honestly though, people be dying. Okay, people be fucking dying of COVID,
I
and
know.
you be talking about some dumbass shoes. Are you joking? I feel like this was like potentially a publicity stunt as well. Like, he knew that this was going to be controversial, and then it was very smart of him to release the shoes at the same time as his music video, because now
100%.
everyone's going to watch the music video. I haven't even heard of this man, and he's all over my newsfeed.
Exactly. The shoes have sold out, by the way. I think they were released and like sold out in 2 seconds.
Of course.
And I really like this tweet that he did say, because again, music videos are like a source of expression, right? And you often like, and a lot of the artists, some of them have like quite a strong say in what goes in the music video and stuff. So he tweeted, he was like, this song will open doors for many other queer people to simply exist. You see, this is very scary for me. People will be angry. They will say I'm pushing an agenda, but the truth is I am. The agenda to make people stay the fuck out of other people's lives and stop dictating who they should be. And then he did another tweet. I spent my entire teenage years hating myself because of the shit y'all preached would happen to me if I was gay. So I hope you mad, stay mad, feel the same anger you teach us to have towards ourselves.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. So I was just like, that's so good. And then there was not drama, but like, I just wanted to
being stupid and not minding their own business, even though these are the same people that preach that we should all have individual rights. Continue.
So it's from this tweet.
Is it from our favorite person?
Guess who it's from? Our
favorite person, Candace Owens.
Goddamn Candace
Owens. Our
Owens.
favorite self-hating person.
So she actually, oh God, Candace Owens. Seriously. Okay.
I think she's a character. I genuinely think she's a character. Continue.
Yeah. Her tweet. We've turned George Floyd, a criminal drug addict, into an icon. We are promoting.
Oh God, that's already pissing me off so much.
I know.
He's not an icon, okay? He's a symbol of something that happened. Like, he's a symbol of a bigger problem. How dumb? Oh my God. Okay, continue.
She's just so bad. We are promoting Satan's shoes to wear on our feet. We've got Cardi B named as Woman of the Year, but we're convinced it's white supremacy that's keeping Black America behind. How stupid can we be?
Oh my God, this has nothing to do with anything. Like, she's just trying to like. Okay, first, these are stupid. Okay, these are shoes. Like, genuinely, like, really, Satan's shoes. Like, first of all, is she even religious? Like, I feel like she's not even religious. But anyways,
I don't know. I think she was just kind of like took a few examples of some trending stories that have happened lately. Not even trending, but like pretty impactful things. And just tried to that were all done by like people of color, and then has just basically said, she's just saying stuff to
appeal to her demographic, which is old white people that are racist.
I know.
Like, genuinely, I feel like she's not even, I don't think she's religious. I mean, who knows? I don't think she's religious.
Yeah.
And so for somebody that's not religious, you should not give a shit if somebody made shoes that were Satan. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you're not religious, you don't believe in Satan. So you don't give a fuck.
Exactly. But, it's just craziness. But I like the whole story. I kind of love it a little bit. Only because... Great. Yeah, it is kind of great. And actually, you know what? I actually give praise to Lil Nas for having the courage to release this music video, because I'm sure like there was some discussions about, whatever else, and actually just kind of going with it and actually being like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm not sure if he grew up in like a kind of very religious area. It sounds like he probably did. And this
probably,
is almost
it sounds like he had like
exactly.
This had an impact on him for sure.
Exactly. I just love the tweet where he's just like, I hope you are mad. I stay mad. Feel the same anger that you teach us to have towards ourselves.
Seriously though.
So powerful. My hats go off to you, Lil Nas. And people need to realize it's just symbolism, and I get it. There's, I respect or whatever people that do, have their religion and everything else. But this is just a form of expression. And, I think.
I mean, why does it matter to you if like, okay, fine, you're religious, you believe in whatever you believe. Mm-hmm. But some people don't believe what you believe. And like in a free country, you should be able to not believe what you believe. Mm. So, okay. And secondly, like, let people worship Satan, okay? If you believe in what you believe, you know that they're going to go to hell anyway, so leave them alone. Exactly. Who cares? You go to your fucking heaven.
And also, also with a lot of this stuff, like, you make the conscious choice. Like, if you're watching his music video and it's bothering you that much, turn it off and watch something else. Yes. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have that choice. Or you don't like his Satan sneakers, don't
Oh
buy
my God,
them.
it's so stupid. Like, what is the concern? I feel like there's so much insecurity around this. It's like, this is what I'm like. If I was positive about, you know, me going to heaven, I wouldn't give a shit about all these other things. I'd just be like, okay, cool. Like, I'll go to heaven. Y'all can just, you know, burn in hell or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, it's not like these people actually care about these people. Like, they pretend that they like give a shit about other people's lives, as
That's
in
what I
like
feel like
their you know, livelihood.
I feel like there's a big like, and this is gonna sound really bad, guys, but like not bad, but I feel like there's some like from what I've seen and my limited experience with religion, there seems to be a lot of this kind of like, you know, there's teachings of saying, you know, really you should like love, you know, have unconditional love for your neighbors and, you know, be this like altruistic kind of person. But then on the flip side, they're also, and this is like across a lot of religions, is they're condemning also a lot of behaviors and those individuals. So I'm like, how can you teach two sides of the same? Like, I just don't follow
So
it.
hypocritical.
Exactly. And that's one of the issues of many issues that I have with organized religion. We won't get into that just now. But
God, that would be a whole different episode.
Exactly. But I just think, again, if you're teaching, you know, acceptance and self-love and, you know,
That's
loving.
not what they teach, Daniel. Come on.
I know. But like.
That's never what they taught.
I know. Exactly. This is what they say
They
that
just
they teach, but they
pretend
don't.
that's what they teach.
So that was a little Nas story.
But you know what I heard is that Nike is actually suing the company that made those shoes because I think they made it without. They said it was Nike, but it wasn't Nike. Like, have you heard that part?
Well, this is what happened. People jumped on it because it looks like a Nike. Oh, maybe it is a Nike shoe because it has the Nike check mark.
So maybe they like. It was like I think it was like a trademark infringement or something.
Maybe, because I don't think it was Nike. Let me just read the bit about the shoe because it says the shoes
said Nike wasn't affiliated with Nike. With this.
Styled after Nike Air Max 97s. Nike has denied involvement in the line. I don't see anything. But I mean, you're right. They could probably.
I've heard that they're being sued.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the shoe right now, I can see why because it has the Nike check mark on it. So
why would you do that?
I don't know. That's just dumb. Like they should have done the shoe without. Like you can't use a Nike check mark on a shoe.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Who is doing this marketing? Who is doing the design? Anyway.
Yeah, just bad. Where are the people to tell you not to do these things? But anyway, but it's still, you know what? Good for you, little Nas.
I like the story. I like it.
I like it a lot. I think that's a kind of positive news story. It's kind of a
positive.
one.
Yeah. Well, I like it because it's almost like this is an example of like how do I say, no publicity is bad publicity kind of thing.
Exactly.
Although, I mean, it's because also he was praised by a lot of people as well, not just
he was. Yeah, he was. He was. It was
a very strategic move. Very
100%.
Smart. Other than using the Nike logo, but very smart.
Exactly. And even like you said, the shoes have sold out. I think the song now, because of all of this, has like skyrocketed in views. So it's like a really smart little thing to do. So
I'll listen to the song.
Good job. Yeah, it's good. I watched the video. It is a bit scandalous, but I liked it. You know, he was like twerking on the devil and stuff. Like it gets really intense.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Another entertainment news, really quickly, again, before we dive into Seaspiracy and go for a little swim.
Little deep dive.
No, a deep, into
the Seaspiracy.
No pun intended there. So we did talk about, we've actually had a few episodes now where we've talked about David Dobrik.
Oh my God, I'm going to kill you. You do this on purpose. I'm going to kill you.
David Dobrik?
Yeah. Did you actually do that on purpose?
No, I just
Shut.
I thought that's how you said it.
We have had this conversation 15 times. And every time Daniel does not know how to say Daniel, it is not that difficult. Dobrik.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because it looks like Dobrik. Okay, but anyway, David Dobrik. So we talked about a lot of stuff going on with his channel. He had that incident with oh my God, why can't I remember?
I can't remember. Anyway, the Sam?
Yes. So we had that incident. Then there was this really serious like rape allegation.
Yeah, allegation, yeah.
Yeah.
Not David Dobrik doing it, but somebody in his like vlog squad doing a very, very illegal act.
Exactly. And also he was linked to it because he was there allegedly, and like, there's a lot of other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. So he was instigating sexual activity that was unwanted. There you go.
Yeah. So the headline of the story is, he's faced a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
So YouTube has stepped in now, and they are temporarily demonetizing all of his channels, and also the channels of some of his former Vlog Squad as well, cohort. So that Dom guy.
Jesus.
So they're just basically have pulled the plug and said, oh, look, we're temporarily blocking him from, any kind of monetization off of his videos. And they've just said we have strict policies against this kind of behavior, and we take these allegations extremely seriously. And they've temporarily suspended the monetization of those, which for someone like him, we're talking millions of dollars here.
Yeah, but I also heard that he, it could just be him talking, and it probably is millions of dollars regardless of this. But I heard that his videos are already like a lot of them are demonetized because he uses like copyright music. But again, he gets like hundreds of millions of views, so it definitely does impact. But what's more important is that he lost like a bunch of sponsors and stuff.
So he's lost, he has a podcast as well, apparently, called Views. He's lost sponsors including Honey, DoorDash, HelloFresh, EA Sports.
Oh my god.
Apparently he's just basically lost pretty much all of his sponsors.
Oh, he's canceled.
And I would say in this actually, Rose, this is the first instance of canceling, I feel like, that's actually a cancellation. Like, this guy is done.
Yeah. Like, actually, I don't think he's actually done, though.
No, maybe not done.
Like, he's
but
done. Like, he's been, I think right now he's being canceled.
Yeah.
But later he's probably going to be fine. I don't know. Who knows, though?
I mean,
because I think it's a different situation because he made like a video apologizing, like a new video, because he had like that shitty apology video,
and now he has one crying or something.
Oh my god, which was also kind of cringe. And let's be honest, it was also like very staged. It was very not staged. I'm sure like some of it was his real emotions, but it was also very strategic, is what I want to say. Yeah. Like he was like, oh yes, I finally have some time to myself. I'm like, okay. Are you joking? Mm-hmm. There's like a team behind this. You have to take it up with the team before you post this. Like, this isn't just you sitting in your, living room.
Exactly.
Don't pretend to be like a small YouTuber. Like he's doing that appeal of small YouTuber, let me connect with just you and I. Anyways. And then he was crying. I was like, oh my God, please just, anyway.
Please just stop.
It was just a little cringe. I felt like it was definitely,
well,
I do feel bad for him. I'm sure he's feeling the wrath of all of it.
Oh, hugely. Yeah. I do think, though, also that he had steps that he could have taken before it got to this point. In both of these cases, like much earlier on.
I know. He should have done something.
Yeah, where he could have done something and done the right thing. Do you know what I mean? Like this girl that had these allegations that they're doing this whole investigation and whatever else, she wrote to the Vlog Squad. Because after they posted the video, wrote all of this stuff to them and said, look, I feel really uncomfortable. This is blah, 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 blah. Take this video down. Didn't get any kind of apologies or anything at that point.
Yeah.
Just, oh, yeah, we'll take it down. So
totally.
There's so many different steps. Like, I don't know about you, but like, I just feel like if I did something like a video that made somebody really, really uncomfortable and then they talked to me about it afterwards, like I would feel like crap. You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh my God,
exactly.
I'm so sorry. Like, you know what I mean? So I just feel like there's and even the other case that was going on, he could have done an apology sooner. He could have so many different things. But anyway, he's definitely feeling the wrath.
It's so crazy. I wonder what's going to happen. I feel like everyone on YouTube gets canceled. When do you think I'll get canceled, Daniel?
Pretty soon at this rate, Rose. I don't know.
I feel like I'm not big enough to get canceled, so I'm okay.
I think
I'm not so huge.
Yeah, I also think that your content though is a little bit different as well. Like,
yeah, I'm not like I literally make food.
Exactly, your recipe videos. So like, I don't know.
But I do sometimes make controversial videos, or not controversial, but
that's true.
I make videos of opinion pieces, and we do this podcast, so we have an hour a week potentially that we could get canceled.
Yeah,
because we say something wrong,
Our podcast could get canceled, Rose. God damn, that'd be so sad. Someone would be like, "I hate you too. I don't want."
The problem is, I think when these YouTubers get so big, they get like a whole team and they have like lawyers and they have like, it becomes like a big establishment. Like it becomes a business, definitely. Right? And it is a business. Like, I mean, what I do is a business, but I don't have like a team of lawyers or anything like that. And I think what happens, it's very hard for, even if you wanted to just like come out and just like say an apology, you would have to take it up with the team and lawyers and it's very obvious then to the public that it's like, okay, you're not genuinely apologizing. You know what I mean? So it's almost like I almost feel bad for these YouTubers at the same time, because it's like, I don't know, like maybe it's almost impossible to be completely authentic once you get to that level.
Yeah, that's true. And you're right. When you have like a legal team and everything behind you, they're going to be advising you and say, look, we're saying don't do this, don't admit to this, or whatever their advice may be. And, you know, yeah, you're right. It's once these, that's why I feel like sometimes in some ways it's not good to get so big. Like it's kind of nice to maybe,
it's not good at all.
No, get to like a certain size where you're doing all right and maybe have a small team working with you, but nothing too crazy. And I feel like that's the ideal. That's why I think like, even with companies, like, you know, this whole idea of like, you have to grow, you have to grow, you have to grow. I feel like, you know, at some point it's like, actually that's enough. Like that's enough. You know what I mean? But anyway.
Success is overrated. Like success in that way is overrated.
Exactly.
I think the more I live, I'm like, this kind of like growth, like you always have to keep growing into this big thing. It's overrated. You get stressed out with this. Like the bigger your company, the more stress and the more people under you, then you're more stressed because then you have to be accountable to all these people.
Exactly.
And
people's livelihoods are depending on you, right? Because you're the business owner.
That's fucking stressful.
I know. And then you're like, if you have to lay people off.
What's he doing? This dude, man, he probably has so many people that he hires. Yeah. And he has a giant house in LA that he lives in.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully he'd be doing some saving.
That's true. Because this is the thing that people forget is like, you know, let's say you're making it big, get a big house, do whatever else.
Yeah.
You know, those houses, like those $1 million properties, the property tax that you have to pay on those houses every year is the same as like the average person's salary in a lot of places. Like we're talking $40,000-$50,000 just in property tax a year for some of these properties, right?
And that's not including the mortgage payments.
Well, if just pretend they paid it off. Like, let's say they're like a big shot and they paid it all off. You're still talking just to maintain that house after the mortgage has been paid.
Sure.
Property tax, the bills, everything else. It's so much money that even if you,
so scary.
It is, because it's a huge undertaking. Because as soon as you lose that kind of income that you were making before, that's why you see a lot of these celebrities and stuff that have these massive houses, and then all of a sudden they go like bankrupt, and they're like, oh well, what the hell happened? It's because they weren't keeping that money flowing, and their expenses were so high. Even if the mortgage was paid off, it's still way more than even an average house would cost to keep up, and you just get drained. So.
Goddamn, guys, keep your houses modest.
Oh, goddamn.
And keep your thoughts to yourself. Otherwise, you won't get canceled. I'm just kidding.
Oh, goddamn.
Well, don't be a dumbass on the internet. That's one thing I'll say. Mm-hmm. And don't make stupid videos manipulating people.
Oh, God.
And doing shady ass shit.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of this is kind of common sense.
Oh,
but
yeah, it's completely self-inflicted. And he definitely should have been, like, he could have definitely handled this better after the fact.
Way better. You know? Yeah. I would be firing that PR team if I was him. You know what I mean? The PR, the legal team. I would say, get the fuck out.
We've seen this before. We've seen this with YouTuber apologies. Like, people take YouTuber apologies like super fucking seriously.
Yeah.
So like, for him to do that like half-ass apologies, like, do you ever watch YouTube? Like, I was like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, do you not understand YouTube? Like, you are on YouTube. You should understand that people are not going to take this well. Like, dude.
And it shows you how out of touch he is with it all now, though. Mm-hmm. Like, he really is. Like, he doesn't realize he has that whole team managing, and he's just, oh God.
I feel like he's probably going to, be fine afterwards. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, like you said, I hope he has some savings. God damn.
Oh, God damn. I mean, I hope again, like, I hope he learned his lesson. I hope that, things change for the better. And I don't wish any ill will on him, particularly, because I do feel like a lot of it was him just not understanding, I don't know, like him just getting lost in the moment or whatever it was. So, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with him? Who knows what's going to happen with this dirty Dom character? Yeah. The one that allegedly committed this crime. Yeah. That's a different story.
God damn.
Oh, God. Anyway, shall we talk about the documentary that makes us depressed?
Oh, God. Guys. Oh. Okay, first of all, let's put a disclaimer out there. If you guys haven't watched the documentary up until this point, stop the podcast and watch the documentary.
Don't stop the podcast. Let's finish this podcast and then watch the documentary.
But are we going to give spoilers in here?
Okay, well, it's a documentary. You don't have spoilers in a documentary, can you?
Well, I feel like you still can, Roses.
Guys, just don't listen to Daniel. You're the one giving out fucking spoilers. What was the other show you were
That's why I'm giving a warning this time, Rose, because you freaked out last time.
Informative. This is informative.
Okay.
It's fine. Even like Seaspiracy. So we're talking about Seaspiracy for those of you that don't know, which is on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
And
check it out.
Check it out. It's a very important film. It's actually interesting because when Daniel and I were living in the UK, in London, we were actually like, I guess we not like full friends, but we were like acquaintances / like, you know, casual friends with Ali and Lucy, who are the producers of, or actually Ali is the director. And I think Lucy was the assistant producer of the documentary, which is very cool. And I think they started working on this during this time, I believe.
Yeah. Well,
when
I remember,
we were in London.
Yeah, I remember when we were in London because the thing is when we were in London, I mean, I do miss some parts of London because the thing with London, especially the vegan community, it was really
so
cool
good
back then when we were there because, well, one, I was friends with Rose, so she's like a little vegan celebrity there.
So you met a bunch of the vegan influencers. At
Exactly.
That time.
So we would like go to meetups and stuff like that, and like we would get really like more engaged with the vegan YouTube community. So we actually did meet. Like we met. Is it Klaus from Plant-Based
News, who's huge now as well. I'm so happy to see all these guys doing really well. Like Klaus at that time. So it's funny because at that time when we were in London, and that's when I also started my channel. It was like we were all just like starting, like we were all like kind of beginning our journey of like, you know, creating content or whatever it was on about veganism. Same with Ali. So he used to make YouTube videos. He doesn't do that anymore, and I think he got really into directing. But he was making YouTube videos at the time, and he had just gotten started. And then Klaus also, I think it was also the beginning of Plant-Based News. Like he was the one behind it all. So it's really like cool to see like the growth of everybody.
It's so cool. And that's one thing, like, I have to say, like, one thing I feel like we're not going to get, not to slag off Calgary,
but
my
God, we're not going to get this at all.
I know. Whereas, like, it is really cool. Like, even I remember, and obviously, like, guys, I met all of these people because of Rose. So, you know, it's nothing, no credit to me. But, like, also, like, it would be cool because, like, we got to meet, like, you know, people that were like opening vegan restaurants. They'd like, you know, invite Rose to come try stuff, and I would obviously get to go. And it's cool to see those companies like growing and like little things like that. Like that's one thing I miss about London. Like it was really cool.
Oh, it's so good. Yes, there's a lot of like exciting things happening in London. Oh, yeah. Anyways, let's talk about Seaspiracy. If you guys haven't seen it, it's basically a documentary on Netflix, which again you guys should all go watch, and also please tell your family and friends to watch. It's very important. And it basically kind of discusses the huge impact, mostly on the environment, the huge environmental impact of our practices, our fishing practices in the ocean. That's essentially kind of the summary of it.
Exactly. I think it kind of started, like if I remember correctly, but like it kind of started with Ali wanting to do a little bit more of investigation around what was going on with the dolphins, which kind of like led him to stumble on more stuff about the like fishing industry and just the really detrimental impacts that fishing is having globally.
And it's actually shocking. Like it's, even though like we're both vegan, a lot of the stuff they said, I was like, holy shit, I didn't even know it was this bad.
Exactly. Like there was a lot of aha moments, I feel like, for me as well. Like watching this documentary, and I was like, I didn't know that. Like one of the biggest things for me, which I was like really taken aback by, is so obviously we know there's like a big push around plastic in the ocean and how we all need to do our part, and it's really, really important to like do recycling and not use plastic straws, all of this kind of stuff, right? Just to prevent the amount of plastic that's going into the ocean. What I didn't realize is how, I guess, not the media, but I guess how bigged up plastic straws, for example, were saying, we need to do this, they're ruining the environment, which they, you know, I'm not saying they're a good thing either, but the amount of plastic straws in comparison to the amount of like fishing gear and fishing stuff that's just abandoned in the ocean is such a fraction. Like there was a quote in there. I have the number. Okay, perfect.
Okay, Rose? So I'm on the Seaspiracy Instagram page, and so exactly what you were saying about the plastic straws, and I know that people obsess over plastic straws. Which again, it is important, but it is minuscule compared to the fishing industry. So 250,000 sea turtles are captured, injured, or killed by the fishing industry every year in the United States, compared to a global survey which estimated 1,000 sea turtles die in plastic per year worldwide. Meaning that we are focusing on the 1,000, again, it is an issue, but only 1,000 sea turtles die worldwide due to the plastic issue. But 250,000 sea turtles are captured, injured, or killed by the fishing industry every year in the U.S.
Yeah.
So it's not
crazy.
even comparable.
I know. They were saying, just to go along with what you're saying as well, Rose, I have an article here as well, where they were saying about plastic deposits, plastic byproducts of commercial fishing, such as nets, fishing gear, all of this kind of stuff, is actually making up around 46% of the waste in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is a collection of like marine debris and everything else. And while plastic straws only account for 0.03% of plastic entering the ocean. Again, not saying that plastic straws are a good thing, but I think the media has taken that image of the sea turtle with the plastic straw stuck up its nose, getting pulled out. It's taken that, run with it, and gotten really, really wild about these straws, and people getting really, really passionate, which is good as well. But again, it's like to your point, it's like you're focusing on, if you're looking out for sea turtles, for example, you're really passionate about sea turtles, and you're saying you're really pushing people about plastic straws, everything else. That's great, you know. Like there are, like you said, about 1,000 sea turtles killed every year from plastic debris. But then look on the flip side with the fishing industry, we're talking 250,000, right?
It's crazy.
It's almost like you're focusing your efforts, I don't want to say in the wrong place, but you're not
in the wrong place, for sure, in the wrong place. And you know why? Because it's easy to tell somebody to switch your straw or don't use a straw. But nobody wants to tell somebody to stop eating fish, which is what we need to be doing.
Exactly.
But people, they think that's an infringement on your right, even though that's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
And people are afraid to talk about it because apparently we're not supposed to comment on somebody else's choices, even though apparently, you can, if you're an influencer and using a plastic straw, you're going to get fucking shamed. You're going to get named and shamed, dude. But you're eating a piece of salmon, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
No one gives a fucking shit. And it's like, which is so
that's
crazy. That's fucked up. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, I talked about this many times on this podcast, but it's almost like, I'm not saying it's an intentional red herring, but it's like the red herring, right? It's like something that you're focusing your attention on, which is really distracting from the main issue here. And, it is crazy to me. It bothers me so much.
I know.
About these not-for-profits as well. That
oh God. Let's talk about. Okay, so there's a part in the documentary that was, if it was, I mean, it was comedic gold, but also because it has such a dark subject matter. Like it's actually really sad because it's so much corruption. It's like literally like it's criminal, this amount of corruption. Yeah. But there's a part in the doc, but it's also funny because. The guy is just, if you guys have seen it, you guys probably know what I'm talking about. But basically there's a part where Ali is interviewing one of the guys that works for an organization called Dolphin Safe.
It's the company's Earth Island Institute, I believe. And they issue these Dolphin Safe labels.
Right. Yeah. So they issue these labels on, like, let's say cans of tuna or something that say dolphin safe. And what that's supposed to mean is that dolphins were not harmed in the capturing of the tuna, because for some reason, nobody gives a shit about eating the tuna. But apparently dolphins we have to protect. That's a different story because people think dolphins are cute and they don't give a shit about tuna. But anyways, regardless. So people, I guess they feel good when they buy a can of tuna that says dolphin safe on it. So Ali was interviewing this guy that works for the company that makes these labels and that, gives out these labels and certificates to, these tuna companies or whatever. And the guy and Ali was like, so what does it mean to be dolphin safe? And then the guy says, oh, that means Ali was like, how many dolphins can be killed? Like, what's the minimum number of dolphins or maximum number of dolphins that can be killed? And the guy says 0. I mean, if you go over 0 number of dolphins killed, it's not dolphin safe. Yeah. And then Ali's like, should we do a skit?
He's like, oh, okay, cool. So so if you have a label that says, dolphin safe, it's guaranteed that no dolphins, like you said, 0 dolphins were harmed in the capture of the tuna, right?
Well, we can't guarantee that it's dolphin safe, but it's dolphin safe.
Okay, but if you can't guarantee that it's dolphin safe, how can you ensure that it's dolphin safe?
We have people that go out and check if it's dolphin safe, even though, sorry. Oh,
continue. so these people, they go out and they go on the ships, and you have a lot of people out on these ships to ensure that it's dolphin safe, right?
We don't have a lot of people on these ships, and the people that do go out, they can be bought and bribed. So
Oh, okay. So they actually can't certify if no dolphins were harmed for that dolphin safe tuna.
yeah, there's no way of actually checking if it's dolphin safe, but we can definitely guarantee that it's dolphin safe.
So what would you say? What would you say to somebody that wants to get some tuna that is dolphin safe?
Get a can that has dolphin safe on it.
And you can guarantee that it's dolphin safe.
We can't guarantee that it's dolphin safe. Guys, that's like, I know that it sounds like we're exaggerating, but that was basically kind of the conversation. It was incredible, but also like I couldn't even believe my eyes and ears. The guy was literally saying, yeah, we can guarantee that it's dolphin safe, but there's no way of guaranteeing that it's dolphin safe.
Yeah.
And then Ali's like, wait a second, what does that mean?
And then he's like, and if somebody wants to get it, what should they wants to guarantee that, there's no dolphins harm, what should they do? We'll get dolphin safe tuna.
And then he's like, so the people that are checking if it's dolphin safe, they can all be bribed and they're all given a bunch of money to basically put the stamp of dolphin safe on the can. Yeah. And so basically there's no point of them checking because they're just going to be bribed.
Exactly. And we have to remember, I think the issue that I have with a lot of these non-for-profits, and me and Rose were actually talking about this the other day. I don't want to just diminish, because I know there's a lot of non-for-profits out there that are doing good work and stuff, but it's hard to distinguish sometimes when you have such prominent organizations where, for example, and I've actually done my own, just looking at random websites and stuff around plastic and all this stuff. I have yet to find, and if you guys know any, leave a link or something, please do, share. But I have yet to find one of these larger organizations that's saying, if you want to prevent plastics and all of this stuff in the ocean, to stop or reduce the amount of fish that you're eating. You know what I mean? That isn't anywhere to be found. And a lot of the issue is because a lot of these places, this particular, what was it called? What was it called?
Earth Island Institute?
Earth Island Institute.
I think. I'm not sure.
The dolphin safe tuna and this dolphin safe fishing practices, the companies that do this, they have to pay to get that label put on their product, right?
Yes.
So in many ways, it's kind of a backwards way, because they're saying, okay, well, if the company's paying to get this dolphin safe sticker on, isn't that a bit of a conflict of interest right there? Because
it's 1,000% a conflict of interest, because the company that is certifying these companies is making money by certifying more companies. So of course they're going to want to put that label on as many cans of tuna as possible so that they can make as much profit as possible.
Exactly. And there was another organization that was brought up in this documentary as well around plastics. I can't remember what the exact organization was called. But again, there was some issues on their website because Ali had brought up the fact that why is this, it talks about sustainable fishing practices, and he's like, that's great, but why is there no mention on the website about reducing or eliminating seafood? Because that's another way that somebody, because when these not-for-profits, they have lists of things that we can do as individuals to prevent, you know what I mean,
and they never get to the root of the fucking problem.
Exactly. Not using
it's
plastic
the same
straws,
issue with Cowspiracy.
Exactly. So it just begs to question, that's where I'm why is there so much of a conflict of interest with these companies, these non-for-profits? Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If it's non-for-profit, why are they... Okay, so they're non-for-profit and they get funded, right, by these other organizations that are in direct conflict with what they're doing. For example, some of these companies like Earth Island or whatever, they might be funded by another company that is a fishing company or something, Why? It is non-for-profit. So where does the money, what do they do with the funding of the money? How does that all work?
So basically a lot of these companies, they have a lot of costs as well, right? So think about it as any company. Let's say you get $20 million of revenue that year, but the reason it's not for profit is because they technically don't make a profit. All of that money would go back into employees' salaries you know what I mean? So I feel like sometimes the term not for profit can be a little bit misleading. But yeah,
do the employees, for example, let's say you're the CEO of a non-for-profit, are you allowed to make, is there a limit as to how much you can get paid?
I'm not sure.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know
but
how
it's
that
fucked
works.
up. That's why I can't trust any companies that are quite big and well known, because I'm who's paying you, bitch?
On C.
Oh God,
right now.
He's looking it up. Anyway, guys, it's a really kind of I think one good thing that they did mention at the end is that the oceans can be revived very quickly. So it's kind of like looking very bleak, but
Get this.
oh God, what is it, Daniel?
So this is just a quick Google search, guys. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this right now, but the first couple things that came up, apparently there was a Huffington Post article about this, about non-for-profit salaries. Again, I don't want to slag off all non-for-profits. I'm just reading what has come up here. But there apparently is no legal cap to the salaries paid to executives on non-for-profits.
Oh, that's interesting. So we don't know how much these people are making as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the ladies that was like the CEO of one of these environmental groups or whatnot, she was very adamant that fishing is not eating fish is not going to be helpful to the issue of fish. And then the reason why is because the company that she was working for is being paid by fishing industry.
Yeah.
It's so fucked. What is wrong with society?
I know. I actually pulled up. Oh, I thought I had it on here. Oh, yeah, I did. So I pulled up. This is for Marine Stewardship Council that does like that promotes like sustainable fishing, right?
Right.
And I pulled up this like finances for 2019 to 2020. This is all public information, so anybody can go on their website and download this. It doesn't break it out so well, but again, I wish there was a little bit more clarity on this. But of the total income earned for 2019 to 2020, 80% of that income, it says, was from charitable activities, in brackets, logo licensing.
Oh my God.
So
licensing to people that, oh, hey, you're environmentally friendly. You do sustainable fishing.
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
I think that the another really big takeaway for me on all of this, well, there's the non-for-profit issue, which I think is kind of not standard, but seems to be across the board with many non-for-profits. Yeah. We saw this in Cowspiracy and other things. One thing that I didn't think of that really opened my mind in the documentary, it is a bit of a no-brainer, but like once you start thinking about it, it makes sense. So one of the issues that they talked about was around like regulation and around having like marine protected areas, things like this, and how hard it is to govern. And the reason being is we forget that like, well, we don't forget, but like we're on land, right? We're like in our little cities and whatever else. The ocean is so effing huge that in order to police that, it's almost impossible. Like we can't even police our lands properly. Do you know what I mean? Let alone the oceans where all of this crazy shit happens. Yeah. And you know, you do have random people disappearing at sea and all this crazy shit. Like you could like, it's just so
crazy.
Yeah. And it's so hard to police. And he did mention, and do you remember this part where they're talking about like government subsidies of certain industries, like such as fishing, and they were saying like the actual real cost, like if we were to actually buy fish that was not subsidized and it was like full cost for these, for the products, it would be a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why wouldn't they just pass the true cost on to consumers? Because, you know, if that was the case, then actually naturally demand would go down because people would not be able to afford to buy the fish.
Presumably, the fishing industry probably has some kind of connection to the government as well. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Let me see. There's again, I'm still on the Seaspiracy Instagram page. So let me see here. It says governments give, well, I guess it doesn't say the reason, but governments give $35 billion to the fishing industry every year to continue plundering our seas. Again, we don't know the reason, but I'm assuming there's a lot of corruption in there. And according to the United States, only $30 million is needed to solve world hunger. Or 30 billion, sorry. So 35 billion we are spending as governments to the fishing industry just to subsidize it. Even though we only need 30 billion to solve world hunger. So that's interesting. Very depressing. And let me see some other quick fire tips here. Not tips, quick fire facts. 300,000 dolphins, whales, and oh God, I can never say this word. Porpoises. Porpoises.
What, Rose? I've told you how to say that word a million times. You
Excuse
can't
me. You never
pronounce it properly.
I'm sorry. Porpoise.
Yeah.
Porpoises are killed. You've never told me how to say that word. FYI. 300,000 dolphins, whales, and porpoises. See, I know how to say it the third time around. Are killed in fishing nets every year. 300,000 guys. along with 30,000 sharks per hour. Per hour, we're killing 30,000 sharks. What the fucking fuck?
How can that be like, I mean, it's not sustainable. Like,
It's so bad. It's so bad, you guys. We are fucked.
And they also talked about how, like, obviously the sea is a very complex ecosystem. But another fun fact that I learned about the sea, which I kind of knew, but again, it was like one of those another aha moment, guys. I love them. Is the fact that you have this, I think it's called like phytoplankton and whatever it's called, like the weird like kind of like algae stuff, but like it's in the sea. And apparently, which makes sense, it's like a plant that like grows and whales eat it and lots of other kind of stuff eats it. It helps regulate our climate because it does suck in a lot of that CO2 and convert to oxygen. And the ocean is a natural like trapper of CO2, right? So there's a lot of like, and if we start getting rid of some of those things, like we could be in
which
really
we
big
are
trouble.
doing.
Yeah. And they talked about how important, for example, it's all interconnected, but like the whales and the dolphins, because they're swimming down to different levels of the ocean and coming up, they're mixing the like nutrients in the ocean, everything else. So again, if that stops happening, things are going to start dying off, and it's just going to be
basically
fucked.
If the sea is dead, we're dead. So this is a very serious problem, and we all need to be like we need to be like spreading this news. And I feel like it's a little bit easier to recommend documentaries instead of like us as individuals like telling people to like stop eating fish or something like that. So it's great that documentaries like this exist because we could just be like, oh, you should watch this documentary. Another little fact here, 3.9 billion acres of seafloor is deforested every year by trawling. So trawling, I guess, is when they like basically just like fucking take some huge thing and just fucking like go at it. Oh my God, it's fucked up. And by comparison, 25 million acres of forest is deforested every year on land. So 3.5 billion of seafloor versus 25 million. I mean, even on land, it's a problem. Okay, it's a huge fucking problem. But we're doing it in like enormous numbers in the sea. And I just want to point out as well, because they also talk about in the documentary how, sorry guys, we're going on about this, but they also talk about in the documentary like how because we're overfishing, it's really fucking up the kind of like the way of life there, right? So for example, if you're like fishing too many of like the predators, then it becomes overpopulated with something else. And anyway, it basically we're fucking up the circle of life in the ocean. And then people that are against veganism always like to use the circle of life excuse. They're like, oh, it's just the circle of life. You know, we're at the top of the food chain as human beings. We're supposed to eat these animals because it's the circle of fucking life. And I'm just like, bitch, you're fucking the circle of fucking life right now in the ocean. Are you joking? Like, we're literally fucking up everything in terms of like nature. Do not give me this fucking appeal to nature fallacy fucking goddamn argument.
I know. You know, the sad thing about all of this though, Rose, is like, obviously I'm not going to say that this could solve all problems, but like the sad thing is like something like this, like fishing, overfishing, all of this stuff, like it ultimately comes down to what we're eating. Do you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like that's what this is. So like if we as a society chose not to eat fish, this wouldn't be a problem. You know, there'd still be other problems. Yes. Yeah, like pollution and all that stuff. But like,
oh, you're breaking up a little bit, Daniels.
Oh god damn! Oh, sorry about that. The internet connection.
Oh god. So well, I mean, it's important that we all watch, and I think if we all watch as well, even if you know all this information, watch it, put it in the background so it can like bump up on the charts. Exactly. It's very important. I think that we need a documentary like this because I think often we ignore, and myself included, we often ignore what goes on in the ocean. We often ignore fish, even though yes, they feel pain. So even if we weren't talking about environment, we are inflicting so much harm and pain to these animals that do feel pain, yes, and we ignore them because they're a little bit different than us. You know, that's essentially what it is, and so I'm glad a documentary like this exists. I think it's needed. Yeah. And I think a lot of people as well, because myself included, again, I was pescatarian for a long time. So fish was the last thing I gave up, but it seems to be a very serious issue. So we need to stop.
Oh God, guys. So yeah, watch the documentary, check it out. If you've already watched it, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below if you're watching on the YouTube.
Oh God damn. It's a YouTube.
YouTube.
Well, let me read a few things to end on a kind of hopeful note.
Okay, I'd like that.
Again, we're still on the Seaspiracy Instagram page. You can follow their page if you'd like. So this one says, this is how we save our ocean. Okay, step 1 is shift to a plant-based diet. So that's step 1, like we discussed. And then step 2, we must enforce no-catch marine reserves with the short-term goal of protecting 30% of our ocean by 2030. Because you know what they said as well, by 2049, we're going to have no fish in the ocean or some crazy number like that if we keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Step 3 is to end all fishing subsidies. $35 billion in taxpayer funding props up the most destructive industry in our oceans. And they made a good point that even if you're not eating fish, we're still paying for it with our taxpayer dollars. So that's fucked up. But the best thing we could do right now as individuals is to stop eating fish. That's the most thing that we could do in our control. Everything else is a little bit bigger. It's a bigger fish to fry. Oh God, we need a different term for this. Oh God, we need a different term for this. What's a vegan term for this? We need, guys, tell me a vegan term. Because there's so many fucking terms that you can't say when you're vegan. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Do you know the vegan term for that, Daniel?
No, is there one?
Yes, it's feeding 2 birds with 1 scone.
Oh my God.
Isn't that so
I love
great?
it. I'm going to use that from now on.
Because I used to say it and I'm like, I don't know the term in vegan, in vegan terminology. And it's feeding 2 birds with 1 scone. Okay?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. You said bigger fish to fry, maybe no, that's lame. I was going to say...
What?
No, I'm not even going to go there, guys.
Bigger tofu to fry?
I was going something along those lines.
If you guys have any suggestions on a vegan term for fish to fry, because that was not a good timing when I said
no,
that.
God
damn, we'd be talking about not eating fish.
And then now you're talking about frying it. God damn, Rose. Get your priorities straightened.
Oh God, bigger tofu to fry. There you go, guys.
Yeah, that's our thing. So yeah, I guess those are some things to take away. One thing that was positive too with the documentary is they're like, okay, it's not too late. We can still save our oceans. How much longer that we're going to be able to say that? It replenishes
very quickly.
Yeah, it does. It does replenish quickly. But
action is needed now.
It is. And again, how much longer can we keep saying this? It's the same with the deforestation of the rainforest, everything else. It's bad. It's getting really, really bad. We're not quite at the point of no return yet. But then I'm like, what's going to happen? We're not enough action.
We're getting fucking close, dude,
I know.
right?
Oh God, guys. Anyway, on that.
Has anything changed since Cowspiracy, for example? Has anything actually significantly changed?
I think I remember seeing articles or I saw something about, the switch to plant-based milk, for example, has skyrocketed, the sales of plant-based milk.
But what I want to know is, has that actually made an impact on the environment, for example?
Yeah.
Or has it actually decreased the number of cows being slaughtered? Those are the numbers I want to know. Yes, it's fantastic. It's growing. There's more vegans. There's more plant-based options. But I want to know, is it actually having a bigger impact? That's what I'm curious about. Because then, it would be nice to see... because some of these things, I do feel yes, it requires personal change, but it also requires some government action, some systemic change, which I don't know how to get. But
yeah. I don't actually know. That would be actually a really interesting thing. I think we should find some stats and graphs to see over this last while, especially in the last kind of five to 10 years, when there has, it hasn't been a huge amount of increase. I mean, it has been a huge amount of increase in veganism, but I feel it's not been such a massive compared to the global population. We're seeing change,
especially because we're seeing, for example, in China, which is 1 billion people, maybe more. I think they're increasing the number of animal products. Yeah. So I think you made a point where it's if you have certain people doing the right thing, but then you have 1 billion people over there not saying that all doing the wrong thing, is it really going to make a big impact? That's what I also want to know.
It's that whole idea of I was saying this to Rose the other day as well. I don't even know if this is on the podcast or on our walk. Everything's just a blur at the moment. But we're just spending too much time together. that I was saying to Rose, like if we were in a boat, for example, right? We're in a boat, it's sinking. That's our world, right? And here me and Rose we're just with our little shovels or buckets, taking the water out of the canoe or whatever. And then we have like all of these people behind us with like fire hoses filling the boat up. It's like we're gonna sink no matter what we do. But that's not the mentality that I want to have, because I think that if enough people change, then it will be a good thing. But yeah, watch the documentary, guys. Check it out, and let us know.
It's very important.
What you think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. On that happy note, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give it a big thumbs up on YouTube if you are watching. And if you want to give us a little rating wherever you are listening, that'd be fantastic. Yep. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the SaVeg Podcast. And what else, Daniel?
And also, guys, if you can't get enough of us every single week and you want to get the episodes a week early, ad-free and exclusive content, head on over to patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast. Join our Patreon, our little growing Patreon community over there. And we do an exclusive episode every single month. We've already done the one for March, which is a really, really cool one about the increase of male virginity between the ages of 18 and 30. God damn, there'd be another kind of pandemic, and it'd be a sexless one. So guys, if you want to see that episode and many more, there's like,
my God, guys, it's bad too. It's fucking bad, guys. It's a huge increase, like a 20% increase in like 10 years. My friends, it's a serious issue.
It's a different type of pandemic.
Have so many
God damn, everything be exploding. So this be a virgin pandemic. I don't know what's next, Rose. God damn.
God, you're killing me. Okay, no, but in all seriousness, we really dive deep into our thoughts as to why this is happening.
Exactly.
It's a very interesting episode. It was a fun episode. And of course, guys, we do a lot more one-on-one interaction with you people on
Patreon.
Our Patreon. So join us, okay? Link is down below. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.